What up, what up, what up? But don't think your boy just gonna leave you high and dry with some vague explanation. I actually do have a system that I put in place back in 2023 that works very well. So we're gonna go to my 26-week challenge. And this works for every price point that you can enter at. I don't care how much you make. But this was for year 2023, 2024, and I did really well with this 6-month challenge. It's 26 weeks trading challenge, and let's say you start with $200. So I did a lot of thinking as to what was a good amount that you could focus on to get you to earning a certain amount at the end of like a 6-month period, right? So I started with $200. I started with $250. And I was like, your goal should be a weekly goal. So when it came to your starting balance of $200, you should be trying to get about half that balance a week. And as you go up in the actual starting balance, the amount you're trying to reach decreases. And I'll tell you why it decreases in a moment. But $100 on a $200 account a week isn't all that bad, because in reality, it's only $20 a day. So you're basically trying to get 10% of your starting balance per trading day and ending your week with 50% increase on the original starting balance. And you're going to hold that throughout the course of the entire 4 weeks. And I know when you're thinking about it like that, you're like, that doesn't sound like a lot. No, it's not a whole lot, but it's account growth. And a lot of people get so caught up in making like quick, fast money that they forget that if you just accumulate more and more and more slight wins, you're going to reach wealth that way. So, all right, cool. Your first entire month, you're only trying to get $100 a week. And if it was $100 a day, you'd be like, off $200, it'd be so hard. But you can get $20 off of $200 pretty easily. That's like a $1 move in 0 day. That's like a $3-4 move in like a week-long 2-week contract or whatever the case is. I've done some math on that. And in futures, you guys know that we can reach 100 pretty easily. But let's say that you were funding your own account in futures and you wanted to start with 200. So this works for futures and options. So the first month, you're only focusing on getting half of the starting balance. All right, 100, 100, 100, 100, adding $400 to the account. And then once you reach $600 at the end of the month, you're going to go in, you're going to withdraw your initial balance, which is $200. So now you're trading $400 of the market's money. And now this is when the fun comes in. After that month, you should have kind of started to gauge how to trade, getting yourself a system. So now we can increase. We can double the amount that we're trying to get per week because we've doubled our starting balance now. Our starting balance is now $400. So we're trying to get $200. And what's that? That's $40 a day instead of the $20 a day. So what were you doing to get $20 a day? Now you're just going to double that to get $40 a day. Same exact trading strategy that you were using the first time. And then that goes on for a whole month, right? Then you get to $1,200 at the end of that month. You're adding $800 to the $400. That equals $1,200. And guess what? You're going to rip out that starting balance, $400. Now you've made yourself $400 profit from where you started in the first 2 months, right? And you're still growing your account. Now you're at 800, but you're not going to jump up to 400. That's not how this works, because you want to keep the system going balanced, right? So you're going to keep the $200, but you're going to add that to your $800 starting balance. Now you've added 800 on top of your 800, and you take out, or you get to $1,600, right? 800 plus 800 is $1,600. But guess what? Instead of taking out $400 this time, now you can take out 25%. Oh, snap. Which is still $400, by the way. So you take out the $400 and now you're up to $1,200. And now this is where you really start to grow. Now you're like, how can I double what I did the last 2 months? By 90 days, your system should be so mentally encoded. The patience should be there. The organization should be there. The entries should be there. By 90 days, once you hit day 91, you should be able to attack like this and go, okay, cool. Because in reality, this is 20 days, 40 days, 80 days, but let's just say it's 90 days because it's 3 months, right? By the end of the 90-day period, the 3-month period, you should be over into the $400 area. Now you have the system in place. You have the strategy in place. You know when to enter. You've seen a lot of market conditions. You know what days are good to trade on, because you're not always going to make exactly $40 a day or $50 a day. Some days you might make 120. Some days you might lose 67. But as long as it equates to you earning this at the end of the week, you're good. So now you're at 400 and you're like, ooh, we jumping up now. We jumping from 40 to $80 a day, but you have the skills in place. You've put those skills in place. And we're going to just show you really quickly each of the different types. So for the $500, it's the exact same thing. You're trying to get $50 a day. If you're putting more money in your account, it's because you're confident in your trading abilities, not because you're trying to make more. And I want you guys to understand that if you are putting more money in your account, I want you to be confident in your ability to multiply that money, not because you're trying to get more money. $250, same exact strategy as the $200, works the exact same way. You get to the fourth month, you can pull out 25%, which is just $500, and it's just so smart. But then by the end of that, look at what you're making at the end of these. Oh, let me go back. So at the end of that 6 month period, you should have 50-50. You should have $5,000 in that account, right? At the end of the $250, you should have $8,100. Notice that $50 difference is getting you almost $3,000 more. But then as you go to $500, that $300 difference from the initial starting balance gets you $5,000 more money at the end of 6 months than you had when you started with the $200 balance. And then last but not least, my personal favorite to start with is $1,000. And at the end of 6 months, making $16K. Once I hit this, I was like, oh, I got a strategy that works. And that's what I want you to focus on. Find a strategy that works, that can get you 10% of your starting balance every single day. And notice that when I get up to the higher amounts of money, I don't instantly jump when I make $2,000 to $1,000 or $750 or whatever the case is. I keep it at $500 so that I can keep my balance. You want to be able to keep your footing through all of your trades. Just because you could scale more doesn't mean you should scale more. But that's it for this. I want to keep this video pretty tight, and I'll check you guys out in the next one.